Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's another Rohde Schwarz. It's called an SKTU. It's written here. 3 to 1000 megahertz noise generator. I think this one consists of radio tubes, and there isn't a lot of stuff to do here. This is just the level, and that is the only thing you can do here, really. And we got this funny connector. I am not sure if I will be able to find a mating connector here. The light bulb here is a neon indicator, and that one was totally loose, so I was able to screw this in, and look at that, the mains cable is cracked. But I believe this one is from the 60s or something like that, so it's really old. If it looks really nice and shiny, it's because I just cleaned it up. I removed all the annoying stickers and tape and all that kind of stuff. So it is quite nice and beautiful now. I think we got some loose items in it, because when I shake it a little bit, I hear some stuff flying around. So there is no powering up before I open it and inspect it first. It's one of those tube designs where it's super easy just to remove the 4 screws and lift up the entire thing all in one. And yes, I was talking about some loose items in the box. A resistor and a little piece of aluminium painted the right color. But I really can't see where this should fit. Well, it is really interesting. So we got a very big selenium rectifier, and look at that socket. That looks like a tube socket. Look at that. But it's used for a TO3 transistor. I think it's the first time I see a tube socket used for a transistor like that. And it looks like the 2 pins actually made perfect. I did not know that was compatible. How cool is that? So it looks like the output power is controlling the high voltage. At least they're warning us a little bit. It also looks like the internal heatsink is isolated from the chassis, as you can see here, right? So I think this is what they want us to be warned about, the high voltage potential of the heatsink. It looks like we got a little vacuum tube in here inside the plumbing section. I would assume this is some sort of a dummy load or termination, and then there's probably a coupler that goes straight to the output, and then this oscillator or amplifier thing coupled to the output, and then this one is nicely terminated. Of course, we got some capacitors for the different voltages, and a tiny little transformer. Well, tiny and tiny, it's quite all right. The meter is okay. They say we got some different, can you see that, 0 point something milliamp and 1 milliamp and such. So different ranges with, that would be power resistors or something like that. First I thought it would be inductors, but then I see this milliamp conversion, so now I think it's wire wound resistors, and that will be a nice little transistor. So that will be the 2 different output power ranges, and that probably just goes to 2 different tappings of the transformers or something like that, right? And there's a potentiometer here for internal calibration, and another rectifier in here that's most likely also a selenium rectifier. And here's a little surprise. 2 transistors and one capacitor and some stuff here. I believe we got ourselves a little oscillator. So that is probably what we have here, right? 2 transistors doing a little oscillator thing. And that will be filament and high voltage going into that tube. Probably via some feed through inductor, capacitor, low pass filters here. And the big surprise, and that is really what makes me super sad, that is this component here. Can you see it's a leaked single cell battery? So that is what I would call the surprise of today. I did not expect to see this. Why are we having this problem here? And it's of course leaked, and as you can see here, all the nastiness. And that is probably why this thing was put on a shelf many years ago when it didn't work anymore. Nobody knew why. And it's just because this battery is not working. And I didn't find a big nasty warning about this on the case. I mean, why didn't they do that? Oh my goodness, this is a little bit depressing. So the 2 red wires, they went to this pad here. Oy. That is some nasty, funny stuff. I don't measure any voltage over this thing. 0 volts, but when I measure it on ohms, it goes up slowly, like it's charging, and then I go back to volt, and then I measure a little bit of millivolts. So that means maybe I can charge this battery. So that is probably what it is. Let's try and open it and see if we can figure this out. This is really funny. Try and have a look at all this. It is really nasty. All the colors of nastiness. And here's the battery that is called 450 DK and then DEAC, and positive was connected to the 2 red wires, and made in Germany is written here. So far I don't know what type of battery this is, but it is a single cell something. So it's 1.2 or 1.5 volts is my best assumption. We are now inside this little oscillator chamber here. I've removed this one, and then there's a nice little spring here that holds down the tube. And the tube was also held in place with this little spring, silver plated springy material. And here is the tube. This is a very special tube. It's a 5722. It's a direct heated noise generator, a diode. So that is, I think you can see the top little spring here that is holding the filament in place. And that is all there is inside this. Yeah, like that. Here we go. Just a little diode. And the way that this works is actually a little bit interesting. You can control the level of noise by adjusting the filament voltage. And this is of course what you're doing when you're cranking up and down that potentiometer here. It goes to the filament regulator. So this is a low voltage transistor and a low voltage high power rectifier, and this is also a low voltage capacitor. So all this form a regulated DC supply, and that DC supply is at a high negative voltage in relation to chassis. And here we got the high voltage system, and those are of course in series with some resistors and all that, so the anodes, the high voltage is nice and clean. There's actually another little funny thing. If you see here 362, so that is the year date of the capacitors, and we see the same on that big here, come on, 62 on that one. But I thought that was the only age indication, but on many Rohde Schwarz instruments, you'll find something even more interesting. You'll find this kind of sticker or label. Yeah, so it's the manufacturing date is exactly what it is, right? 1963. So now the tube is nicely mounted again, and I will put back everything, and hopefully I will be able to get it up and running. Yeah, they really did what they could to make sure that the tube is not having any kind of vibrations or anything like that. I was right about the termination. So we've got 50 ohm DC. So that is quite safe for me to connect my spectrum analyzer. The only problem is that I don't have any connectors that will fit, so I'm just going for this. I mean, I'm not super proud of that, but we'll see what happens. I also prepared for connection to this little battery input, and then we'll see what happens. I think you should see the first power up. So first I left this off, and now we got mains applied, and then I crank this one. Ooh, 70 watts, 60 watt, 50, 40 watts. There's a lot of watts. Oi, 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 it is bright in there. That cannot be right. Oi, this is even more. Okay, so this one works. And then it goes down. No. Oh yeah, look at that. The meter is responding. Is it really supposed to be this shine? I mean, are you crazy? This is shining like a bulb. Well, that is probably how it is supposed to be. I actually think it works. So this is just from 0 to 20 megahertz, and the level is really, really weak, and that is normal for noise generators, for noise figure measurements, and that is exactly what this is. So it is a very, very low signal, obviously. And when I crank this up, I can actually see a tiny little, noise figure or a noise floor. I can't really see. Yeah, maybe you can see what I'm saying here, right? But you need something that is a lot more sensitive, and you need an amplifier, you need all sorts of stuff, so it's not that easy. But I think it works. It's just really, this is how it is normally with noise figure generators, by the way. I kind of like this, the light in that one. Look at that.